Go out, since we probably have everybody, I'll kind of go through a brief history of Purdue University. Purdue was founded in 1869. It was a product of the Morrill Act, which was signed into law by Abraham Lincoln, which established the ability for the federal government of the United States to give federally owned land to the states to establish public land-grant universities, which focused predominantly on agriculture and at the time what was called mechanical arts, which we now call engineering. John Purdue was a local businessman here in the Lafayette, West Lafayette area that wanted to make sure the state assembly put Purdue University here in West Lafayette, because there was a lot of different sites around the state that we're looking at. And so to make this the most attractive place, he said he would donate $150,000 towards its founding, and got people in the community to donate additional land here in West Lafayette to make Purdue an institution that came and was solidified here in this part of the state. In recognition for that, they named the university after him. John Purdue became Purdue University, not Indiana A&M or Indiana State or something along those lines, like a lot of the other public land-grant colleges ended up being called. Because of that, sometimes we're confused for a private institution, though we are a state-owned university, we just have a really nice name. There are several stipulations, though, that came with the founding of Purdue and came with that $150,000. One of those was that as much money as possible go towards academics, not aesthetics. At the time, red brick was the cheapest way to build buildings in this part of the state, and Purdue's pretty much kept with that tradition. And towards the end of the tour, we're going to see the only 2 buildings on the entire campus that don't have any component of red brick whatsoever in their construction. Also, he did not want a school of music being founded at Purdue University, so there is no degree-granting institution in music or music performance here at Purdue University. I heard it was for religious purposes, but I'm not really sure. And finally, when he died, he wanted to be buried somewhere on campus. Purdue obliged, and actually right across where we are right now, John Purdue has his tombstone, and this is now Memorial Mall. Before we kind of start, you can kind of think of Purdue as being divided up into different centers and locations on campus. This is the largest of all of those, Memorial Mall. John Purdue is buried here, hence Memorial Mall. And it's this large green area out here and the buildings that make up this area around through here. You're probably awfully familiar with Stewart Center, since you've probably spent quite a bit of time in there so far. It's the largest non-academic building on the Purdue campus and is home to one of the 12 libraries on campus, the Humanities, Social Sciences, and Education Library, which is located just inside those doors you came out of. Other than that, it houses the conferences division, so a lot of different conference rooms, a lot of small ones, a lot of big ones, a whole bunch of them, from the 2nd floor all the way up to the 4th, for different academic conferences, business conferences, or whatever else they need to be used for, which currently would be International Student Orientation. So Stewart Center also has 2 theaters inside of it, the Fowler Hall and Loeb Playhouse, and it's also attached to the Purdue Memorial Union. We'll talk about it a little bit later when we see that. We're going to start out now and see some of the buildings all around campus. The residence halls, Greek living, and then the rest of the academic buildings over campus as well. That's kind of a quick drive-by of most of what we're going to see.
Were we okay on speak for you?
Yes.
Okay.
And we're ready to go.
Let me know if, again, tap me on the shoulders.
Will do.
I'm probably going to try to proceed up Tower Drive a little faster.
That's totally fine.
Because the transmission's brain was becoming confused.
Yeah, that's fine.
And if I'll just accelerate up that hill, it'll be all right.
All right, one of the other centers of campus, other than Memorial Mall, would be Academy Park back there. It's not accessible to any type of motorized vehicle, but it kind of serves as an outdoor classroom space. There's large grass berms, so if a professor wants to bring their small class out and kind of do a class outside when it's nice, kind of like it is today, they have the opportunity to do that over in Academy Park. Some of the buildings located over there would be Heavlin Hall, which houses the English department, as well as the speech clinic, and the 2 chemistry buildings, Weatherall Hall of Chemistry and also Brown Laboratory of Chemistry. Purdue's most recent Nobel laureate, Dr. Eiichi Negishi, has his laboratories in Weatherall, and then the Brown Laboratory of Chemistry is actually named after the other Nobel laureate in chemistry, Dr. Herbert C. Brown, who was actually the mentor for Dr. Eiichi Negishi when he was a student here. Back here is Stanley Coulter, houses the Foreign Languages Department. You can take up to 12 foreign languages at Purdue, including American Sign Language. Back in that corner is Class of 1950 Lecture Hall. The entire building pretty much is the lecture hall, and can seat 474 people at any given time, and is the 2nd largest lecture hall by student seating capacity on campus. The oldest building on the Purdue University campus is University Hall over here on our right. It was one of the original buildings built in the 1870s, and at the time tuition was about $5 a semester to go to Purdue. Now it has smaller classroom sizes, as well as appropriately the Department of History has their offices in there. Over here is Stone Hall on the right. It used to be home to the Hospitality and Tourism Management School up until about a week ago when Marriott Hall opened, which we're going to see here in just a couple seconds on the right-hand side. But before we do, I'm going to talk about that small little black pump that's on here in the corner. It's a water pump, doesn't pump water anymore, mostly just here for show and for my story. So at the time, before Stone Hall was built, it was actually the location for the women's dormitory on campus. In the early 1900s, it was against university policy for females to be outside of the dormitory after 9 o'clock on a weeknight. But they could come out to this pump and get a drink of water, and for some reason, every night they would, their boyfriend would be standing there, or a friend would be standing there to talk to them, and it's all part of the scandalous history that is Purdue University here in West Lafayette. Stone Hall was named after President Stone, who somewhat ironically died in a mountain climbing accident in the Canadian Rockies, but it's still going to be home to dietetics laboratories and things like that other than the HTM school that used to be located in Stone Hall. Academy Park is another kind of central area on campus, similar to Memorial Mall and Academy Park, located just on the other side of this building through here. Some of the buildings in there would be Beering Hall, which is the second largest academic building on campus that has the College of Education and the College of Liberal Arts, both located inside the one building, which you're able to see now right through there if it wasn't so much for the trees. One of the two larger fountains on campus, the Loeb Fountain, is located in the center of the mall. You also have Matthews Hall over here, which houses Family and Consumer Sciences, Retail Management, and Fashion Design. I had mentioned Marriott Hall a few seconds ago. This is the new Marriott Hall, just opened last week, and is the new home for the Hospitality and Tourism Management School, named after the Marriott Corporation, which donated the money to us so we could actually build a new HTM building because they hire so many of the HTM graduates out of there. Over on our left is Lilly Hall of Life Sciences, home to biology and pretty much anything else life sciences based here at Purdue. It's the largest academic building on campus and contains over 7 miles of hallway inside of it. It's a really, really easy building to get lost in. Purdue you can kind of think of as being divided in two. Everything on the western side we're coming into is pretty much the residential side. So the residence hall facilities, the dining courts for the residence hall facilities are going to be located over here on the west. Everything pretty much on the east is going to be the academic building, as well as research buildings and stadium buildings we'll end up seeing a little bit later too. What you're going to kind of see over here on the left now is one of the newest spots on campus. It's called Discovery Park, and it's a place for interdisciplinary advanced cutting-edge research. My favorite building over here is the Burke Center for Nanotechnology. It's the largest of the buildings over here, and it houses the Cyfreeze Nanotechnology Fabrication Laboratory, and that's the largest nanotech fabrication laboratory in the United States. And at the time I did my tour there, they said they were pretty sure it was the largest in the world currently right now. Georgia Tech, they said, tried to build one bigger than us. They ran out of money, which I thought was hilarious. So we still have the largest one in the United States over here. So advanced research and targeted cancer drugs in terms of nanotechnology and its implementation is happening here. Somebody's working on an invisibility cloak design in there. A lot of really cool advanced equipment and research happening in the Burke Center right now. Over on your right is the newest residence hall complex on campus, First Street Towers. It's only open to sophomore level students or above and features private single rooms with single attached bathrooms built in 22-room clusters around a large TV viewing area, kitchen area, and laundry facilities for those 22 rooms. You can still see the third wing is still under construction right now. That's how new it really is. But the place even kind of smells like a hotel. It's so nice. But also is twice as expensive as the next most affordable living option. It generally hovers between $12,000 and $14,000 depending on the year to live in First Street Towers. Some more traditional dorm style living in the residence halls will be over here either in McCutcheon or Harrison Hall. First Street Towers is co-ed by room, so you can have male and female living room to room next to each other because the bathrooms and everything are all attached inside each of the rooms. Over here, they're going to be co-ed by wing, so you have a male wing on this side, a female wing on that side, and there's more double occupancy rooms with a large bathroom facility which serves the entire hall itself. So that's mostly what these two buildings would be over here. But we do have another style of rooms in addition to the single rooms, the double rooms. You can have what's called suite style rooms, where you have two people still in a room, but only those four